Okay, so in this video, we're going to be looking at how easy it is to answer an IELTS academic part 1 writing question with 4 simple steps. And today we're going to be looking at a line graph. Now, if you'd like, you can go down to the comments and you can find a copy of this question and you can also give your own answer to it. So you can type that down below and I'll be more than happy to take a look at some of them. All right, let's have a look at those 4 steps. Okay, so our first step is to really take a look at the question and really understand what's going on in the question and in our graph or table or whatever it is we're looking at. So today we're looking at a line graph. In the IELTS, with a line graph, we're almost always going to be looking at time along the bottom and the amount of something going up the side. So to understand one of these charts, we need to have a look at a few different things. So the first thing to look at is the title of the chart, because that's going to tell you what the chart as a whole is about. And as we can see, this one is describing music sales in the UK. Now, once we've had a look at the title, we can also go and have a look at what lines we have. Now, these might be based on color or they might be based on different types of dots and dashes, but you can always see what the names of the different lines are. So in this one, we have streaming, which is like Spotify or something like that. You're downloading music. We also have CDs or compact discs. We also have vinyl records, which are the big, usually black records that you listen to and they spin round and round. They're a little old-fashioned, but they're becoming more and more popular these days. People are starting to get back into those. The next thing you want to have a look at is your units. So you can have a look at the units going up and down and the units going along. So up and down we have pounds, the sales in the UK, so that makes a lot of sense. And along the bottom we have the years from 2015 to 2019. Okay, and then finally, once you've had a look at all of those things, then jump in and have a look at what the different lines are doing. The line for streaming, we can see it kind of just hangs around at the top and gets slowly bigger. The line for CDs starts somewhere in the middle and decreases over time. And the line for vinyl goes along a little bit up and then halfway through it really shoots up. So we can see a very broad overview of what those things are doing. Streaming starts as the most popular and it ends at the most popular. CDs become less popular over time and vinyls get more popular over time and really shoot up after 2017. Actually, with these line graph questions for IELTS, there usually will be one that keeps getting bigger, one keeps getting smaller, and one of them does something weird in the middle, either shoots up or zigzags all over the place. So the second step is to paraphrase the description of the chart. So actually with part 1, one way to do this is to add more information than the original description of the chart. So the original chart says it shows the sales of music in the UK by medium. So the extra information we can give are which 3 media we're looking at, and also we can give the years that the chart shows. And this means we can change the question around a little bit. And we will also change a word in there. So in my answer, I've written, this chart gives the sales revenue for 3 types of music: LPs, CDs, and online streaming in the UK from 2015 to 2019. So I have changed a few things around there. I've changed vinyl to LPs, because I know that's another word we can use. I've changed media or medium to 3 different types. And I've changed sales to revenue. And so by changing a few words and adding that extra information, we can give a really good paraphrase of the question. So the third step is to give our overview. And this is where step 1 really comes into play, because now that we understand what's going on in this graph really, really well, we can give a really good overview. So for the overview, you don't really want to give any numbers or anything yet. You really want to give the big picture. And remember, for these questions, for the line graph questions, the big picture is usually going to be one goes up, one goes down, one does something different in the middle. It might be a little bit different to that, but generally they follow that kind of pattern. Now, something else you can pay attention to in your overview is which one is the biggest and which one is the smallest. And so in this chart here, we can see that one of them stays the biggest the whole time. And so that's worth mentioning in your overview as well. So for this essay, our overview reads, streaming services began as the most popular option and grew in popularity steadily over that time. Vinyl began as the least popular option, but saw a rapid growth from 2017 that saw them overtake CDs, which declined slowly through the period. Step 4, the final step, is where we go into a little bit more detail. So your introduction should include the paraphrase and your overview, and then you're going to give 2 more short paragraphs describing in a little bit more detail. Now, you don't need to describe everything on all of these charts. You don't need to go year by year. You're just giving the most important points. And these paragraphs are where you start to use numbers in your writing. You don't want to use them in the overview, but you do want to start using them here. So let's take a look at some example sentences from those 2 paragraphs, and you can find the whole thing down in the description. For streaming services, such as Spotify, their sales revenue grew gradually from £2 million to £2.5 million. So here I'm giving a nice description, I'm giving the numbers, and I'm also using adverbs to describe the type of growth. And that's the sort of detail you can be including in here. So I said the sales grew gradually, which is a really useful adverb to use in your IELTS Part 1 writing. Okay, let's take a look at another one of those sentences. Although the sale of vinyl records initially grew slowly, there was an inflection point in 2017. After this, the growth skyrocketed. So this shows how you can use complex and simple sentences in your writing. So this although type sentence is also very useful in IELTS Academic Part 1 writing. Because it allows you to contrast 2 different things. Inflection point is a really useful bit of vocabulary for these as well. It's a point in a graph where the line changes shape. So in this one, it's kind of doing something like that. Okay, so those are the 4 steps for writing an IELTS Part 1 academic answer about a line graph. Now, if you want to learn more about this, we've got another video coming out next week, which is going to be about grammar structures for describing these line graphs. So if you want to watch that video, make sure you subscribe down below. Also hit the like button and check out one of the videos that's floating somewhere around my head right now. And that will also help you with your IELTS.